in this video, I'm just going to show you how to change your photos from this to this using my Retouching Actions Pack. The link will be in the description below. You can check it out. So if you're new on this channel, my name is Eustace, and in today's video, I'm just going to show you how to remove the blemishes, how to do the frequency separation, how to do the dodging and burning, how to do the teeth and eye whitening, how to color grade, and how to make the image stand out, and how to sharpen the image. So if you want to watch a specific title, I'll put timestamps in the video so that you can just click on that, and then it's going to take you to a specific topic that you want to watch. So let's start. I'm going to make a copy of this photo, Ctrl J, and then I'm just going to zoom it in, zoom it in, zoom it in, and then I'll remove the blemishes. Then I'll zoom it in again. I'll use the patch tool. So I'm going to go on my tools here, and then I'll select the patch tool on my tools here, and then I'll select the patch tool. I have a video about removing the blemishes. I'll put it in the description. You can just check it out. So let's start. I'm going to select this pimple here, and then I want this clean part to replace the pimple. So I'll just drag my selection, and then I'll let go here. And then I'll keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep selecting, sliding. Now do that on this one. So I'll leave this. And then I'm going to look for another place where I'm supposed to remove the blemishes. Okay, we have a pimple here. So I'll select it, and then I'll drag it. I'll select even this one, and then I'll drag it like that. Okay, keep doing that. Okay. So let me remove this. I'll remove this, I'll select it, and then I'll drag like that. Let's keep on looking. What else are we going to remove? Let me zoom it out. Okay. I can still see this. Let me remove it. Okay, so now let's remove these veins. So I'm going to go to my tools here, and then I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to come on my tools here, and then I'll select healing brush. I'm going to zoom it in, Control plus on the keyboard. So I'm going to sample this clean part, and then I'll replace this vein with this clean part. I'm going to Alt on the keyboard, and then I'll sample here, and then I'll replace like that. And then sample here, then I'll replace, and then I'll odd sample, and then replace. Odd sample here, and then replace. So here on sample, I've set it to current and below, and then source sampled. I'll keep sampling and painting. So I'll sample this part, then I'll paint there, sample this part, and then I'll paint there, sample this part. Keep doing that. Sample this. So we're going to go to the other eye, Alt to sample, and then I'll paint, sample, then I'll keep doing that. Keep doing that. Just keep sampling and painting. Okay, so if you're enjoying the video, just like it. Just give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done that already, and smash that bell icon so that when I post a new video, YouTube will notify you that I've posted a new video. Okay, so I think I'm okay with this. I'm going to zoom out. So what we are going to do now, we are going to flatten the image. I'm going to Alt Control Shift E on the keyboard. So the next thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the frequency separation. Like I said, I'm going to edit this photo using my actions. So I'm going to select the frequency separation action, and then it's going to ask me the radius that I want to use. I'm going to reduce the radius to 0, and then I'm going to select a place in the photo which has a lot of textures. Let's say this one here. So I want to remove the texture in this layer so that I can just remain with colors. So I'm going to increase the radius. I'm checking here, I can still see the texture. I want these textures to go. I'll keep increasing the radius, maybe let's say 10. All the textures are gone, I can only see the colors. I don't want to go overboard. 10 is okay for this photo, so I'm going to click OK. I'm going to open the frequency separation folder. I'm going to go to low frequency copy. I'm going to go to my tools here, then I'm going to select the mixer brush. And then I'll set the weight of the brush to 15%, load 30%, mix 30%, flow 20%, and then I'll check this icon here. So what this icon does is whenever I paint, I make a stroke, like I paint like that, the brush is going to clean itself. And then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to use the dodge and bend checker. It's just going to help me mix the colors. So I'm going to play it like that, put it on top, and then I'm going to go to low frequency, and then I'll start mixing the colors. So mix the colors according to where the colors are. So you mix the shadows and the highlights and the midtones according to where the shadows and the midtones are. So let's start mixing. So start mixing like that. You can see my brush is changing, like my brush size is changing according to the place or the area that I'm mixing. So I'm going to mix even these colors here. So this retouching pack has 21 actions. Once you get this, it's gonna make your retouching process 50% faster than the way you retouch. So let's do this. Let's keep on mixing. So let's see the before. So let's switch this one off. So this is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. So I'll keep on mixing. Want to switch it back on, so I'll keep on mixing. Just keep on mixing. So mix according to where the colors are. Don't just mix like you take this. So mix the midtones, the highlights, and the shadows. So keep on mixing so that you can just have that smooth transition that we are going for. So keep on mixing. Okay. So let's see our before and after. This is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. So this is our before, this is our after. So I'll keep on mixing. So this is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. So I'm going to speed up this process. We don't want it to be a 2-hour video. I'll see you when I'm done. So process of mixing the colors, it flattens the photo, like the photo will look flat. Like let me show you the before and after. So before and after, before and after. You can see in the before photo we had a lot of highlights and a lot of shadows, but after we do the frequency separation, we've reduced the highlights and the shadows, and we need those back. So we are going to bring back the highlights and the shadows when doing the dodging and burning. So you should watch this video until the end. So before, so after, so before, so after. So I'll keep on mixing. Keep on mixing the colors, just keep on mixing, just to make the colors blend. So keep on mixing. I'm changing the brush size according to where I'm mixing the colors at. So this is our before, this is our after. So I'm going to remove these other pimples. I want just to make it, just to remove them so that I can have that smooth transition. So I'm going to go to high frequency copy. I'm going to select the Chrome stamp 2, and then I'm going to add to sample. So I want to sample this. I'm going to add, and then I'll sample this, and then I'll replace that. I'm going to add here, sample, and then do like that, sample, and then I'll keep doing that. I'll change the brush size. So make the brush just a little bit bigger than the pimple. So I'm going to remove this pimple. So I'll make the brush this big. So I'll sample this part here, just dab on the pimple, and then I'll sample here, and then I'll just dab on that pimple. Sample, and then just like that. So I'm going to look for the small pimples that I can remove. I don't want that to look plastic. I want this photo to look as realistic as possible. So I'm going to sample this, and then I'll paint that. So when this, I'm going to sample here, and then I'll paint here. Sample, keep doing that. So let me zoom it out a bit. So let me just fix this part. Sample here, and then I'll just dab. Sample, just keep doing that. I'm going to sample here, and then I'll dab, sample, and then I'll dab. So I'll keep doing that. So if you're enjoying the video, if you are learning something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let's go to the other side. Let me zoom it out. So let's see the before and after. So this is the before, this is the after. Then I'll sample here, and then I'll do that, sample, and then I'll do that, sample, and then I'll do that, sample, and then I'll do that. So soon I'm dropping my melanin skin tone pack. You should check it. I'll do a video about it soon. We're just going to color grade the photos using the same pack. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe, because I have a lot of content that's coming up about retouching and behind the scenes, just subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss that. So this is our before, this is our after. As you can see, we've done a lot. This is our before, this is our after. So the next thing that we are going to do, let me just save it, Ctrl S. So the next thing that we are going to do now, we are just going to do the dodging and burning. I'm going to go to my actions. In this retouching action pack, there is a dodge and burn, macro dodge and burn, global dodge and burn, dodge, burn, dodge and burn invert checker, dodge and burn checker layer. So these are the tools that I'm going to use when doing the dodging and burning on this image. So let's start. So I'm going to learn my dodge and burn checker. So this one is just going to show me the places where I'm supposed to dodge and the places where I'm supposed to burn. So the brighter part is a place where I'm supposed to dodge, and the dark part is a place where I'm supposed to burn. Let me delete it. So let me show you the dodge and burn invert checker, what it does when you select this. So it's going to guide me also with the dodge and burning. It's more like it's showing you the opposite way. Let me explain. So the brighter part is where you're supposed to burn, and then the black part, this is where you're supposed to do your dodging. So let me remove it as well. So I'm going to learn my dodge and burn action. So we are going to do the macro dodge and burn, and then I'm going to learn the invert checker. And then I'm going to zoom my photo in, and then I'm going to go in this macro dodge and burn folder, and then I'm going to select my brush. I'm going to set my opacity to 100%. Then I'm going to set my flow to true. I'm going to select the dodge. I'll set my foreground color to white, and then I'll start with dodging. The micro dodging and burning. The smaller transitions are the ones that we are working with now. Let me just disable this. So before, so after. So I'm just working with smaller transitions. So this is our before, so after so far. Let me just keep doing that. Okay, let me zoom it out. So this is our before, so after, so before, so after. So let me zoom it in again. Let's just do these small transitions, and then we'll go to global dodging and burning. So let's see. So before, so after, so before, so after. Let me zoom it out again. So before, so after. Okay. So now I'm going to do the global dodging and burning. So I'm going to go to my actions, and then I'll just choose the global dodging and burning. Then I'll open the folder, and then I'm going to select the dodge. Then I'm going to learn my dodging and burning checker layer here. And then I'm going to open the global dodging and burning. Then I'll choose the dodge, then I'll choose the brush. Same settings, flow add to, and then I'll make the brush a little bit bigger. Then I'll just dodge there. Come here. Make the brush a little bit smaller, and then I'll keep dodging. Brush a little bit bigger. A bit bigger. Okay, let's keep on doing that. So I'm going to speed up this process. Okay, let me just show you the before and after before. So let me just switch the checker off. So this is the before, it's after, it's the before, it's after. So I'm going to keep doing this process. So if you're enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up. Okay, so let's burn the shadows now. Let's enable the checker, and then let's go to the burn. We burn the shadows. Burn the shadows. Okay, let's disable the checker. So let's keep burning. So this is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. So let's burn. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rotate the photo so that I can see it in a different perspective. I'm going to place R on the keyboard, and then I'll rotate it like that so that I can just see it from a different angle. So, okay, brush. Okay, even dodge this part. You can see light from there. So I'm going to rotate it again, R, brush, so I'm going to place R and then escape to exit the rotation. This global dodge and burn is for the face. So I'm going to do the dodge and burning now, the dodge and burning for the hands and other things that I can dodge and burn. So I'm going to go to actions, and then I'm going to select dodge. I like doing things separately, so I'm going to do the hands now. So I'm going to select the brush, and then dodge and burn checker. So then I'm going to just dodge this part, even this part, like that, just like that, and then in this part I'm going to dodge it, that part. So let me disable the checker. So So this is what I've done. This is before, so after. Just keep doing that. So I'm going to select the burn here. Then I'm going to go to this part, and then I'll bend this part. So you can see the shadows. I want just to make the shadows and the highlight stand out a bit. So I'm going to do that in this side. So it's a before, it's after. So this is the part that I'm going to dodge and burn now. So I'm going to go to my actions. I'm going to choose burn, and then I'm going to choose dodge. So I'm going to start with the dodge, and then I'll set my opacity to 100%, flow 5%, and then brush, and then I'll set the foreground color to white. And then I'll start dodging the brighter part, the highlights, just to make everything stand out in the photo. That's why I'm doing this. So you can see how fast I'm able to edit this photo because of these same actions. So you can check this retouching action pack in the description. So this is our before, so after. So I'm going to burn the shadows. So I'm going to select the burn, then I'm going to burn the shadows. I want to zoom out. So before, so after, so before, so after. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to even the skin. So I'm going to go to my actions, and then I'm going to select even skin tone. And then so before, so after. This is how I want the skin to be. So this is before, so after. So I'm going to go to the even skin tone, and then I'm going to click Ctrl+I to invert this layer mask, and then I'm going to select the brush, and then I'll set the foreground color to white, and then I'm going to take the flow back to 100%, and then I'm going to paint the skin. Then I'm just going to paint the skin. So I'll make the brush a little bit bigger. Don't paint the eyes, just paint the skin. Just to even the skin so that the skin can just match. So this is our before, this is our after. So let me just save it. So let's see what we've done so far. So this is our before, this is our after. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to make this image pop. Just going to make this image stand out. My actions here, and then image pop. I'm going to select this, and then I'll click on it. This is what's going to come. So I'm going to go in this folder. I'm just going to double click here. So this blending option is going to pop up. So I'm going to hold Alt, and then I'm going to drag the other side of this icon just to break it apart. So I'm going to hold Alt, and then I'll drag it like this. You can see the photo is changing there. Then I'll drag it, let's say the value that works for me most of the time is 200. So I'm going to put it at 200, and then this is 205, it's okay. And then I'm going to click OK. So this is what this image pop has done. So before, so after, so before, so after. Let me zoom it out. It's before, so after. But I don't want the effect to be everywhere. I just want some parts of a face to just pop. So I'm going to go to layer mask here on image pop here, and then I'm going to Alt and then I to invert the selection, and then I'm going to select the brush, and then I'm going to set my flow at 100%, opacity at 100%, and then I'll set the foreground color to white, and then I'll just paint where I want the image to just pop. I don't want everything, I just want part of the images like the forehead. So I'll paint here on the forehead, and then even on the nose here, I'll paint there. Even this part, just a bit of that. Even this part, just a bit of that. Even here, and then in this part. So these are before, these are after, and then I'm going to reduce the opacity to let's say 40%. So before, these are after, and then I'm going to save it. So the next thing that I'm going to do at this point, I'm just going to give the skin some textures. I feel like it's too soft, so I just want to give it some textures. So I'm going to merge all the adjustments that we've done, and then I'm going to Alt Control Shift plus E just to flatten everything together. And then I'm going to go to the actions here, and then I'm going to select the skin texture. I'm just going to change the light position. When I was shooting this photo, the light was coming from the top right, so this is what I'm going to select, and then I'm going to click OK. So the angle 135 is fine, height, everything is fine, amount 100%, I'm going to click OK. So here I'm going to select or control how much details I want in the textures. So I'll reduce the radius to 0, and then I'll start increasing it to what I feel is going to work for me. So I'm gonna go to, let's say 3, 5. So I'm going to select the radius of 5. I'm going to click OK. So I'm going to come to this layer, and then the layer mask here, it's black. So I'm going to select the brush, opacity 100%, flow 100%, layer mask is black. I'll set the foreground color to white. And then I'll just add some textures in the photo. So I want this part just to have the textures. So I'll paint here, just this part. Even this part, I want it to have some textures. Even this part. So even this part, I want it to have some textures. So I'll zoom it out. So it's our before, so after. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do now, I'm just going to brightening the eyes, and then I'm going to select the teeth and eye whitening here on my actions. So I'm going to put the teeth and eye whitening action in the description. You can just download it and use it. So we're going to select this, and then I'm going to open it, and then I'll select the photo filter, and then I'll zoom it in, and then I'll select the brush. The foreground color, I'll set it to white since the layer mask here is black. So I'll zoom it in, and then I'll start painting, whitening the eyes. Even this side. X on the keyboard just to toggle between the black and white color here. So I'm going to remove some of those. Just a bit. Even this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Let me zoom it out. So this is our before, this is our after. So before, this is our after. So I'm going to reduce the opacity. I don't want it to look fake, so So I'll just reduce the opacity. Let's say maybe I'll start at 0 and then I'll keep going up. I'm looking at the photo. Let's say 60 is fine. Let me see the before and after. Let me zoom it out. So this is our before, it's our after. So I'll save it. So the next thing that we're going to do now, we're just going to do the color grading of this photo. So I'm going to go to my actions and then I'm going to run the light contrast like this. And then I'll zoom it out a bit. So this is a before. This is what this action has done to the photo. Let me zoom it out. So what it has done, you should get this actions pack. It's going to help you a lot. So let me save it. So I'm going to add a layer that's going to help me to see if the photo is overexposed or underexposed. So I'm going to go to adjustments and then I'll select the curves. And then I'm going to come to the curves here and then I'm going to Alt and then I'll drag this highlights slider. So it's telling me that the photo is overexposed. Everything that's in red and blue is overexposed. So I'm going to go back to this action that I added. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this action. I'm looking at my histogram here. So this line here is telling me that this photo is overexposed. I want this line to disappear. So I'll be sliding the opacity back while I'm looking what's happening that side. So let's say 55%. I'm going to go to this adjustment level. Then I'm going to Alt and then click there, just telling me that this flower is overexposed. So I'm going to go back here, then I'll reduce the opacity. Let's say maybe 45%. I'm going to go to levels and then I'm going to Alt and then I'll slide this. Still telling me that this is overexposed, but I can just remove the effect from here. I'm going to select this layer mask. For the light contrast, I'm going to select the brush, opacity 100%, flow 100%, and then I'm going to set the foreground color to black since the layer mask is white. And then I'll just paint here. I don't want the effect to be here because it's overexposing this part. So I'm going to paint it out like so. So this is our before, this is our after. Let me just zoom it out. So these are before. So after, so before, so after. I think the effect, I don't even want it here, so I'll make the brush bigger, then I'll just paint here because I don't want the effect on this part, so I'll paint it out like that. Maybe even here, I'll paint it out. Even there, I'll paint it out. I think even here, just paint it out over there. This is our before, this is our after. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a selective color adjustments. I'm going to go to adjustments and then selective color. I just want this blue to stand out a bit. Let me zoom it out. So I'm going to go to colors here, and then I'll select blue, and then I'm going to slide this. The yellow, let me put it maybe -25, and then cyan, let me just take cyan back to 0. In the magentas, let me just take the blue to maybe 25, and then I'm going to select the cyan because this is where the blue is. So I'm going to drag this, the yellows back to, let's say, -10, and then the magenta, let's say 35, and then in the cyan, let me add that to maybe 50. So this is the before, this is the after, it's the before, this is the after. So if I want this blue to stand out again, I'm going to go to adjustments, and then I'm going to select the hue and saturation here. And then I'll use this hand tool here. I'll click on it. I'm going to select a color in the photo like so. So hue and saturation is telling me that the color that I've selected is in blue, and then I'm going to slide this hue and saturation. Maybe if I want to change the color of that, I'm going to slide it like that, but I'm going to leave it at 0. I just want the saturation of that blue, so I just want to add, let's say maybe the saturation of that, maybe 10. If I want it like this or like that or like that, but I'm going to put it at 100%. So I just wanted to show you how this works, but I'm not going to use it. I'll delete it. I'm going to go to adjustments, and then I'm going to add the curve adjustments, and then I'm going to use the hand tool. I'll select it, and then I'll use the hand tool. I'm going to come on the photo, but whilst I'm looking here on this levels, this box here, I'm going to select the highlights, the bright part. I'm going to make a point here. Then I'm going to select the shadows. Then I'll make a point, let's say somewhere here, and then I'll slide this down a bit, like so, even the shadows a bit up, just to make that S curve. I want like this, and then this is our before, so after. Let me add another adjustment, the color balance. So I'm going to go to the shadows. I want the blue tint in the shadows, so I'm going to slide this slider to the blues, let's say maybe 2, and then the cyan, maybe let's go down to maybe -2. Then I'm going to go to highlights, then I'm going to add maybe some yellows there, let's say -2, and then the reds, let's say maybe -2. Let me reduce the opacity, let's say maybe 25%. Before, so after, before, so after. I'll save it. I think I'm okay with what I've done, the grading, the retouching and everything. I think I'm okay with it. I just feel like the reds are too much. Let me just go on top here, and then I'm going to select the reduce reds. This is the action that I'm going to run. I'm going to click on it. So this is what's going to give us. So let me just reduce the opacity to 0, and then I'll start pushing it up until I'm satisfied with how I want the skin tone to be. Let's say maybe -35. So this is a before, so after, it's a before, it's a after. Let me just go to negative maybe 30. It's a before, it's a after. So Control S to save. I'm going to merge everything together. Control Alt Shift plus E, and then I'm going to sharpen the photo. In this retouching actions pack, there are 3 actions which you can use to sharpen your images. There's an image sharpening, eye sharpening, advanced sharpening. So I'm going to use the advanced sharpening just to sharpen the skin and the eyes. So I'm going to run this action. So let's move this side, let's zoom it in so that we see what's happening. So I'm going to reduce the radius to 0.1, and then I'll start pushing it up to the amount of sharpening that I want. I think 1 is okay, and then I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go to this layer. The layer mask is the one that I'm going to choose. I'll choose the brush, and then I'm going to set the foreground color to white, and then I'm going to paint the areas in the photo that I want to be sharp. So let's say I'm going to paint here. I want this part to be sharp. I want this part to be sharp. I also want this part to be sharp. And then I want this part to be sharp. Okay, I'm done with the skin sharpening, and then I'll reduce the opacity. Let's say maybe 80%. I'll save it. Let me go to maybe 65%, then I'll save it. And then I'm going to sharpen the eyes and part of the hair. and then I'm going to merge everything, Control Alt Shift E, and then I'm going to run the advanced sharpening again. So I'm going to reduce it back. I don't want it to be too much. Let's say 0.1. Then I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to go to layer mask, this layer mask, and then foreground color to white. And then I'm going to select the brush, then I'll zoom it in, and then here I'm just going to make the brush the size of this, and then I'm just going to click once like that. Then I'm going to select even this other one, then I'm going just to click once like that. I'm going to change the opacity to 50%. Okay, and then I'll just brush part of this, part of that, just part of that, even part of that, part of that, part of that. I'll reduce the opacity back to 25% now, and then I'm going to brush part of the lips, just that, then I'll zoom it out, then I'll reduce the opacity, let's say maybe 65%. Let's save it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned something from the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. And if you want to receive a notification every time I put up a video, smash that bell icon. I'll see you in the next one.